All right. Women are better than men. Let's just get straight into it.
Well, I've heard from a few different teachers or studiers of the Bible, whatever.
Studiers.
Yeah. That they believe there will be more women than men in heaven. And that gets so complicated, and I don't like to talk about it because of how difficult it is. And, you know, even the whole Andrew Tate shit, I don't even look at that in my own time. You know, I don't look at that shit in my free time. I don't engage in that kind of stuff. I just totally would rather be at peace than involved and engaged with all
War.
the drama. Yeah, it's just not worth
It's
that.
just a battle.
I totally used to be. I was like on TikTok for hours just like arguing with people about
Yeah.
random bullshit. But it just hasn't been worth my time.
Mm-hmm. So when you take the stance, no, go ahead. You want to finish your thought?
Yeah, just that I've met a handful of men who also believe that women are above men, and not in the sense that like just that we should be treated, you know, if people, it's the only reason I say that. Okay, I wouldn't even have to say that if it weren't for misogynistic men who say equal rights, equal fights. What the fuck is that? So we say we want to be equal to you, and the first thing you think of is, oh, let me hit you then. Like, I'm sorry, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I've had to clarify and say, okay, women are better than men, though, because we should not be hit. We should be equal, but, you know, we should still have doors open for us. Like, I like that chivalry is what that is. But it's like, why is the first thing that comes to your brain that you want to fucking hit us? Like, what's wrong with you? So that's the only reason I really say that I think women are above men, because of all of the bullshit men who have made me that way. Sorry, but like, fuck.
So the equal rights, equal fights thing is just highlighting. It's just a man's like dumb way of quickly highlighting that equality is bullshit, basically. And
That's how
that
I feel about that. I fucking hate talking.
There is that if you line up 100 women in a one-on-one fight with me, I'm probably gonna take basically all of them.
I was gonna say exactly. Men are already stronger than us.
We're stronger physically. We don't live as long as you. You have us on that.
We just want rights. We just want the same rights as you. That's it. We don't want to like be contested with like, you know, we know you're stronger than us. That's why
Do you?
That's why 99% of rapists are men, because they can. And 90% of victims are women, because physically, like,
you're weaker.
Yeah. So we don't need equal fights, bro. We already get fucking abused as it is.
You're already getting
like,
raped a lot.
Shit, we already get abused and raped.
A lot. More than everybody.
A lot. How many girls do you know? Like
raped a man? One.
Raped a man?
One.
How many?
Yeah, straight up,
know?
she raped him.
How many have been sexually assaulted?
Men?
No, women that you know.
Sexually assaulted. Several?
Yeah, all of them, pretty much. Yeah.
But I don't know a woman that's been raped. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, we don't have to go there. But I know a man that got raped, and it was like, the way he told the story is hilarious, because he was like, yeah, I was drunk, and then she was getting on top of me, and I was like, no. And she did it anyways. And I was like, oh, dude, you got raped.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was like, yeah, man. and then like man. This, yeah, we were talking about it for like 45 seconds, and then we just like start talking about video games or whatever.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. Didn't really affect him.
That's good, I guess.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, no, don't do it. And then she did it.
So he was fine with it, or he did not want it?
He didn't want it.
Oh, well, that's fucked up.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's rape.
And the preferring men having the stance of women are better than them, I feel like is emasculating. It's like that guy, I feel like masturbates to his wife being fucked by a black guy. Is that too extreme?
I disagree.
Like he's a cuck. That's what I'm saying.
One of the ones who told me that was a therapist.
Oh.
So he had, yeah.
You know he's not a cuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has seen a lot, been through a lot. He's a ritual abuse specialist. He studied like Reiki, Buddhism, you know, all that type of shit. He had like a boys' home. He like went to work at a boys' home with just fucked up juveniles and delinquents. But yeah, he told me like the most strongest I've ever heard anyone have an opinion like that. He was like, oh yeah, women are better than men. Absolutely. And I like laughed and he's like, no, I'm serious. Men are horrible. And he was just like,
is he just like pandering to you because you're the person and this time giving him money?
You know,
like you're the person sitting in front of him giving him money at this time, and then if a guy sits in front of him, he's like, oh yeah, women are terrible. Right? No, you think that he's a man of character and he wouldn't do that? Could be,
but I would say based off of everything that he's seen, he's told me, you know, he's the one who told me he has never met a woman in his life who has not got some form of trauma from a man, any form of trauma from another man. And so he's just fucking seen it all. He's seen how evil people can be.
You know, in his 70s. He's lived a full ass life.
Yeah.
Talked to a lot of motherfuckers.
Yeah, he's seen how evil women can be too. You know, he's seen plenty of narcissistic women, horrible women.
Yeah.
But he tells me like, no, yeah, women are far better than men. He said something else. I forget, but just that, yeah. He was like, women are. He really appreciates them as the nurturers and caregivers that they are. So, I don't know.
So the big issue here and what kind of sparked or triggered the feminist movement is the fact that men are superior in most positions in society to them.
And that women get mistreated in a lot of workplaces.
But when you fight that, see, I heard the quote, and it's cold as fuck. You become what you fight. You attract what you resist.
Yeah.
So you fight this thing, the oppressor that you feel like they have an upper hand, they're superior to you, and you don't like it, and you fight it, and you fight it, and you fight it, and eventually you become it.
In some cases, extremists, yeah.
But even just taking on the idea that women are better than men is becoming it.
Only because we shouldn't be fucking hit. That's really
I agree.
Like, that's really it. Yeah, we should be more cherished. Like, when they say women and children first, like, that's how it should be. Not because we can't fucking vote or we can't, you know, work at a car dealership and not get in the position without having sex with our way to the top, you know? Like, we don't want to be hit and shit, you know?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I don't know. And I can fully understand why women would be angry about that. It's like, yeah, you might say they become it, but at the same time, it's because it's been going on for how many years? And we've made progress, obviously, but at what point do you stick it to the man and
what? Get a dyke haircut and a tattered flannel shirt?
Some people, yeah. Some people, yeah. Me, I'm functional, and I keep my opinions to myself.
You don't wear it on you like some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some people are just like, you see them and you're like, okay, and that's a feminist.
I'm not angry about it. Those people are really angry. A lot of people in any kind of movement, honestly, are just full of a lot of anger and hatred.
Yeah.
I'm not like angry at anyone, you know. I've been through any whatever kind of abuse you could imagine. And I don't hate men, you know.
It's good. When I lived in Seattle, I was a liberal, and I basically believed all of that shit that they believe for the most part, you know, anti-war, vaccine skepticism, drug, you know, like decriminalize drugs, all that shit. I believe all that. I still believe all that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And equality too. I believe like, yeah, it should be equal. It should be.
Yeah.
And I went to Seattle and I saw how these like theories and ideologies manifested, and it was disgusting. It was the grossest shit. It completely, I was one of them. Like their views were my views.
Yeah.
And I going into Seattle and then seeing the way it manifested itself was like jarring. It was like,
well, that makes sense.
It was like, fuck, this is what that is. Once it, like, if you get all these motherfuckers in a group and put them in a city, this is what it is. And then I had to rethink my whole shit. It's like someone disproving God to you.
Yeah.
Because
everything turned around.
The feminists that I was encountering, all of them, they weren't people that wanted to be equal to men. It was a man-hating cult.
Yeah, they do hate men.
They hate men.
And that's what I'm saying.
And they want to be above men. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not you want to be on equal footing with them. It was literally a man-hating cult, and all of them were unattractive.
Yeah, that sucks. And
yeah.
that's fucking extremists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I despised men for a while, just like fuck all men, you know, fuck it.
Right.
But I don't know. There's some dimes out there, some who actually know what they're talking about, you know, and you just grow up, you mature, and you become functional, and you don't have all of these raging, you know, whatever. Heal yourself, you know, and that shit's not gonna bother you. It's really sad that there are people who are so angry that they feel the need to like belittle men when that's not how it needs to be.
Yeah, it was like fat, dykey looking women that were like bonding over hatred. Straight up.
Oh, God. I mean, I can for sure relate to feeling that, but like at the same time, I don't know. That's just crazy. That's extreme.
It's a perfect example of you becoming what you fight, because they all like were slowly looking like men. It's like they were slowly getting the man haircuts and the t-shirts,
and then they start to like each other.
Right.
Like girls.
Yeah, and
like
then they started
do.
like each other, and it was like, yeah, it was what I'm saying is you become the monster that you're fighting.
Yeah. That's why, you know, I'm always having to defend myself for saying I think women are above men, but I'm like, no, it's just because I don't want to get hit, and because I think, you know, opening doors for us is nice. But I just, what do you call that? Having the same rights, you know, that's about it. We don't want to,
but not in fights.
Yeah.
Because if you slap me, it's not an equal rights thing. Like if you hit me, I can't hit you back, because if I hit you back, you're going to sleep.
Exactly. You're like that. Men are much stronger, bigger.
Right.
Physically.
So I know it's just tough, like what equality, because it's like.
But then, yeah, you see people who say the same thing, but they literally hate men. Yeah. That's crazy.
They hate them.
I mean, I can understand, but at the same time, it's like, that's trauma, babes. That's trauma. That's what that is. That's why I'm saying when you're healed, that shit doesn't bother you, because it's true. You do become what you're fighting. Because I was reading a book today that, here I go with my books again. I was reading today that it's John Bradshaw, The Homecoming. He had said that the abused becomes the abuser. Obviously, that's pretty commonly understood in psychology, but he explained it deeper how because a victim becomes codependent, so their happiness depends on something that's not within themselves, whether it's another person or however their abuser feels about them. That's what they depend on. So they have no sense of who they are inside. So they take on the abuser, the identity of the abuser, because they have no sense of self, no sense of identity. They lose that sense of identity, take on the identity of the abuser, and become the abuser. And then they grow up to be an adult and get triggered in whatever situation, and they act as their abuser and start doing the same thing and repeating the same patterns. That's why any person you will meet who is like molested a child or abused a child, they themselves had been abused.
Mm-hmm. And you're a product of your environment. So like, you see that video of the duck with the chickens.
No.
The duck grew up with chickens and acts like a chicken.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's a duck, but it fucking acts like a chicken. It's like this. It's that.
That's funny.
And that it's just the way it works across the board in the whole animal kingdom. It's like you become what you're around. And even with one of my boys, he grew up with an abusive father that hit his mother a lot. And him, more than everybody else and all of my other friends, would say things like, "Oh, I wanted to fucking hit her," or like that. It's programming. Like you've been hit with this programming, and you can override it to some degree, but
unless you heal it, that's what I see is like that's a bunch of unhealed people who have not dealt with their trauma. And because if you don't, then you're gonna repeat the same shit when you have no sense of self. It's made so much more sense to me reading this book. I'm like, oh, that's why I don't know who the fuck I am. I'm like 20 years old and I'm like, I have no sense of identity, no sense of self. So it's very interesting. People just grow up having no idea, no sense of identity, and completely lose it and become the very thing that they were fighting.
You become the monster that you're fighting.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even fucking believe that I am a person. Like right now, we're sitting here, we're talking to each other. You say something, I say something back that I completely didn't think about or conscious. It just comes out of my mouth. So it's like this programming is just carrying out involuntarily, and I'm just sitting here and I'm observing it. But it's not. Think? No. I mean, a little bit, but like for the most part, the conversation is you say something, I say something immediately afterwards, and it's involuntary. I'm observing it happening, but I'm not doing it. I'm just sitting here for it.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah. I have like a plethora of conversations going on in the back of my head, even like as I'm speaking. There's always something in my mind. Lots of shit I don't say.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here and there's nothing happening. You say something, I say something back that I didn't think about, and then it just on and on it goes until it's over. And it's like I'm just carrying out my programming. But am I the programming?
You're an NPC?
Yeah. I'm just a computer. The brain is a computer, basically. And it's like I go around, I carry out this programming, but this is all just stuff that I've downloaded over time from my environment. Is it me? No. Am I my name? No. Am I the things I do? No. I'll tell people, hey, I do music and stuff. But is that me? No, it's just something that I do with my time. What are you, really?
Oh, I'm a girl.
You are that.
That's what I know.
Yeah, see, I spent too much time alone, so I think about this shit, and it's like, I don't know. You question if you even exist. It's like what people in prison have to confront and shit. Like people in isolation. Yeah, I live in isolation basically. So it's like I don't know. It's just like, what is anything?
Yeah. There was a time in high school, but I was having a really bad identity crisis because I'm like borderline. So I was having a really bad identity crisis, and I sat down to my sister. I had been dissociated for weeks, so my brain was just off, and I was just alive, nothing going on. And I told her, I said, I know that I'm a human and that I'm a girl. And that's it.
There you go. That's where I'm at.
I was like, that's all I know. I don't know anything else.
Everything else your environment told you that's what you are. Everything else is just downloaded information.
And then you change your environment, all of a sudden you're a different person.
Exactly.
The fuck?
Yeah, it's like my friend, he works on this weed farm.
Nice.
And it was like everyone's on coke and getting drunk the entire time, like cutting the weed and stuff. But it's like the dude that runs this stuff, he brings in a bunch of drugs and beers in the morning, every morning. And everyone just is getting fucked up all day. And then everybody's saying the most obscene shit, the F word with the FAG word.
Yeah.
Saying that just constantly retard.
Nice.
And he was like, he had like a retarded brother or whatever. And mentally disabled, whatever,
Yeah.
however you're supposed to say it, I don't give a fuck. And like, and he's like, I can't, if anybody says retard on the farm, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to like, but they say it all the time. And then basically like he goes to the farm 2 or 3 months later off a alcohol and coke binge and being around these fucking delinquents. He's saying it. And he's the fucking duck turned into the chicken. And so it's like, what is life? What are we?
He did.
You know?
Yeah.
You think that you're something, but you're just this thing that's a product of the things around you, and you're not really anything. Yeah?
And 9 times out of 10, if you're talking to a boy and you see how his friends act, he's going to act the exact same way.
100%.
And he is the exact same.
100%. If he tries to tell you that he's something else, he's fucking lying to you.
I can testify through experience that is 100% true.
It's true. And
Yes.
for all the girls listening,
Fucking sucks.
yes.
I'm not like them.
If the guy's trying to convince you that he's not like his friends, he's fucking lying.
Get him out.
He's lying.
He's lying. He's lying. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, if you don't like his friends, then that's what he is. And you don't like him, he's putting on a front. He's acting.
That's why my last relationship ended. His friends. I didn't like him.
So you
And
don't like
he
him.
became them. Yeah,
Well,
he
he
became
is
them.
them.
And now he is. Now he is.
Yeah.
Completely different person.
Yeah.
I don't even know you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, word. I mean, what are you if you're just alone all day, though?
I have been dealing with that more since I've been alone. I've never done that before. This is the first time in my life. I always had a boy or someone to entertain me, you know. As a child, I was pretty lonely. But when I got to like junior high, I would always have a boy to talk to, or multiple, you know, but always have attention from someone. And so that was all I lived for. That's codependence right there. That's no sense of identity right there. So this is the first time in my life where I'm actually alone. I always just felt like I had to have something, like a person or a drug, or like clearly I'm not being fulfilled in myself. So at first, I feel like I have nothing to live for. I'm like, okay, I'm just here alone. No one even talk. Like, who would even care if I was dead? You know, what's the point to anything? So I can learn and do what with it, you know? But as I'm getting more fulfilled in myself, it's like I kind of just enjoy being in my own company. And so I feel I don't know, that I'm being fulfilled even when I just spend time by myself, alone time. In fact, that's actually all I've been wanting recently for the first time in my life ever. I want to just be alone and read books, and that's it.
It's good.
Yeah.
And you can kind of look in the mirror, or the water comes to a still, and then you can finally see your reflection in it. And all this noise and shit, and you're just constantly taking on stimulation from people, screens, so on and so forth. It, eventually you let the water flatten. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too much of it though, you lose your
I
mind.
was gonna say, when I was alone a lot as a child, I wanted to kill myself. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why I looked for boys, because clearly I was unstable.
Right.
Just a whole thing. But
The whole thing.
yeah, I was very much alone. I would try and find things to do to occupy me, but ultimately, I wanted to die.
Mm-hmm. Ultimately, isn't death easier, or isn't not life easier than living, even when living is okay?
Easier?
Yeah, it's just done. It's like hitting an off switch or something.
Depends. I kind of think that we still work in the afterlife.
Oh, yeah. I guess if you believe that you still live after you die, then that's kind of an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, huh.
Because then there's more.
Right. Then you can keep doing it.
Yeah.
You just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. I'd like to think that things just go black and then into nothingness.
You want that?
I'd prefer that. Because that's the highest level of meditation, is nothingness.
Nothingness is emptiness.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
You want to feel nothing?
Nothing. When you're meditating and you reach the deepest levels of meditation, it's nothingness.
That's hard for me to understand. It's really hard for me to understand.
That's okay. That's okay. I was going to tell you about my trip to Portland.
Nice. Yeah.
So I have a snowboarder buddy. He's like a cinematographer, professional, semi-professional snowboarder guy. And that's like his whole life he's lived. It's a very interesting life.
Yeah.
As you snowboard and you get enough to live and buy things just off of just, gliding on this board. So outside of that, what do? What they do is they just get fucked up. They just get drunk and do mushrooms. That's nice. So it's you're snowboarding or you're getting drunk and you're doing mushrooms. And he's done that for 10 years now.
Jeez.
Oh, very interesting people. I haven't seen him in like 5 years, and I hit him up and I was like, yo, man, I'm going to get some tickets. I'm going to get a ticket to Portland. I'm going to come out and go see my mom, and I want to spend like a weekend in Portland and catch up with you.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, word. Yeah, for sure. And I gave him the day. I booked a ticket and I gave him the day. And I was staying at my mom's first, and then my friend from Seattle came to pick me up to take me to Portland to see my other buddy.
Yeah.
The one that I'm catching up with.
Yeah.
So we pull in, and he was out at the bars getting drunk with his friend, and I was with my buddy that picked me up. And he's like, my buddy called him. He's like, oh, we're here. So he's like, all right, I'll be right there. They pull up, and the guy that is driving is my snowboarder buddy's friend, my actual friend sitting shotgun.
Yeah.
And then his friend, his snowboarding buddy, is driving behind the wheel, and he's on his 5th day drunk straight. He's on a 5-day bender, 5th day in. Coke, cigarettes, and alcohol 5 days straight. All right. So he picks us up. And the first thing he's like, all right, I got to go get some Coke. And I was like, all right, word, whatever.
Nice.
So the very first thing we do is we go get some cocaine at this park. Right.
Sick.
And we go there and he waits. And then some guy in a Miata, with like a convertible Miata pulls up and he gets the Coke from him. And he sits down, he puts the Coke in his pocket, puts a cigarette in his mouth, lights it, drives out of the park, blows every single red light on the way to the bar with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. And I kind of say something like, yo, you got like some Coke in your pocket. Like, why are you blowing all the red lights? Right. Naturally. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, there's no cops.
Okay.
There's literally no cops. They defunded the police.
Oh,
I did not see a single fucking cop in Portland.
That's crazy.
So you can go buy some Coke at the fucking park on a 5-day bender and blow every red light, and it doesn't matter. It's fucking lawless.
Damn.
It's completely lawless. So we were getting fucked. I didn't do any Coke.
That's good.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know if I clarify that. I'm not into that shit. It's just like fucking baby laxatives and drywall and shit. It's not even Coke. It's like,
nice.
But anyways, my buddy was telling me that he's got like these 2-3 friends that just they go to stores and they just throw shit in the bag. They bring a bag in, they throw everything that they want in the bag, and they walk out. And the guy that's working in the store is like, hey, no, don't. And then you just walk out, and that's it.
And they're gone.
Yeah, and there's nothing else. Like the guy working there might tell you not to do it, but then you just do it. You go to the grocery store, you fucking load the grocery cart up with everything, and you just walk out the door with it.
Damn.
There's no repercussions to anything. I've never seen anything like it.
Kind of nice.
It was dope. It actually was sick.
Yeah, kind of cool.
It's still it in the short term.
Yeah.
Like 3 to 5 years from now, then you see the long-term effects of it, and that's just going to be complete decay.
Yeah.
But like right now, it's sick. Like it's right in the pocket.
Yeah.
Where you just
do whatever you want.
Yeah. I saw like one cop the whole time I was out there and stuff, and it was just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say that's kind of how it was in Hawaii, but I saw even more in Hawaii because I would see the police station and in the city more. But in the country area that we lived in, there was no police on the road because it was just the 2 lanes. So there wasn't, highway patrol or cops trying to pull people over because there's nowhere to pull over.
Setting traps. There's no like
cops
fucking setting traps.
Yeah, and then unless they're right behind you, they can't get over, or it's just 1 lane. So there's no point to. That was the least cops that I've ever seen, but I would even still see them in the city, and yeah, but. It was nice not having to worry about them on the road. Sure. My sister, her tags are expired by like 2 years. And I was like, dude, I went 2 months and my ass got pulled over. Like, are you kidding me? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's badass. I love that shit.
That's nice.
Give and take.
Yeah.
Of course there's the give and take, but it's like that shit is pretty fucking sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Not having to worry about.
Yeah, if people could just not steal from stores and let businesses operate and then just function outside of that being lawless, that shit is sick.
Yeah. Unfortunately, can't work like that.
No, it can't, because people are just going to fucking steal everything from all the stores and the businesses can't operate. When businesses can't operate, then what? This is just going to start to look third world.
The economy plunges.
Exactly, but beautiful nature. There's like an hour and a half away from Portland. This is like one of the biggest volcanoes in Mount Hood, one of the biggest volcanoes in the country. And beautiful scenery, beautiful nature. We went to like a flower garden and a Holocaust graveyard.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was tight. Yeah.
Sick.
There are a lot of different roses. I didn't know there was so many different roses. Yeah, there's like 1,000 different types of roses.
Damn. That's a lot. Was there some like funky looking ones that was just like, you just called that a rose?
It's like, oh, that's Asian. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was badass.
Sick.
You got anything that you're looking forward to?
Reading my books.
Oh shit!
I am going back to the island though at the end of this month.
The end of this month.
Yeah. The 28th through the 13th of October.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
28th of this month through the 13th of October, so 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hopefully I can find myself again.
Again.
Step away from my toxic environment.
Find yourself again.
Again.
For the second time. It was found and then it's lost and now you got to find it again.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a bitch.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But, you know, shit happens.
Shit does happen. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever found myself. Maybe I should.
I still don't think I have. But that's the closest I've ever been.
Really?
To, yeah.
Yeah.
Never had a sense of identity or to know who I was.
Mm. Yeah, I had a friend that switched his identity every 2 or 3 years when I was in high school. So he was like a skateboarder guy, and then he was like listening to a Rasta music a lot. So he started dressing up like a Rastafarian and got like dreadlocks and started dressing up like that. And then he went hick. He went into cowboy. He went from Rastafari to cowboy. And it was like he was switching personalities and outfits like every tour. Sounds like
personality disorder. Yeah.
Ultimately, he went from like hick to another identity, and then he went back to hick, and I think he's still at hick now. So I think he found it. He found it.
Found who he is.
Yeah, he found it.
Damn.
What the fuck is that?
I feel that. I am redoing my whole wardrobe right now.
Really?
Yeah.
So you got a costume, different costumes.
Completely change everything.
Why?
'Cause I'm a different person now.
Oh, because you sort of found yourself a few months ago?
Yeah.
So now you're changing your outfit.
Ish, yeah. Yeah, altogether just a different person. That happens every few years to me too. Like in high school, it would happen and I would dye my hair, cut my hair, pierce things, and then just be a new person. And then I look back on myself now and I'm like, oh, I don't know her. That's not me. That's a completely different person. Like, I don't even know her. I do that all the time. Have been for many years.
Whoa.
Yeah, I have a personality disorder.
What is identity?
Yeah. I am the wrong person to ask.
You're the wrong person.
I'm trying to learn about it in a book, but
that's a start.
I've never found it. So I've always been codependent my whole life. My fulfillment and sense of self always relied on an outside force, someone else, something else. So I'm trying to figure that out.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That'll be good for you.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I don't know what the fuck that shit is. I mean, no, I don't know. I couldn't even give you an answer. I'd have to Google it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've known a few of these types of people that will fluctuate through different identities, like outfits, kind of like they just change it out for something new.
Yeah.
I always found it kind of strange, but at the same time, it's all an illusion. So if you want to cast that illusion instead of the other illusion, knock yourself out.
It's just like a game.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, who am I going to play today?
Exactly.
And I think that's probably how it's seen, because at least for me, I dissociate really bad. So it makes sense that I would just be a character, you know, in a game, because that's how my brain is seeing it. I'm just in a simulation, basically.
Okay.
So I'm just, oh, what am I going to play today?
Just playing dress up.
Basically.
Could you imagine? I was thinking about this when I was in this movie. I might show it to you or something. It's kind of funny. But I was in this movie. My friend wrote me into a script as a lead. I never expressed to him that I wanted to act. I've never expressed any interest in acting whatsoever, but he wanted me to be the lead in this movie. And I read the script and I was like, yeah, this is funny. I'll do it.
Nice.
So I did it. And it was like it was like being in a weird dream.
Yeah.
'Cause you have the guy holding up a microphone. He's got a stick with a mic on it, and he's slightly out of frame. So he's standing there, and then there's the camera guy, and then there's the lights up above, behind you, in front of you, and you're standing there, and you're staring into the other person's eyes like this.
Yeah.
And you're waiting for the action. So it's just you blankly staring at each other like this, and then he's like, "Ready, action," and then you go into your dialogue, and then you start talking, and then they talk back. But it was like, it's strange to think that people spend so much time watching people play pretend with makeup on a screen. That was my biggest takeaway from it, was like, whoa, people spend all of this time sitting there staring at a screen watching people play pretend.
Yeah. It's the drama kids, the theater kids that are fucking on the screen.
Right. They're on the screen and they're in makeup and they're playing pretend. And so many millions of people are just idly staring, like looking at it, but like being on the inside of the screen more or less and looking around was like, yo, this is weird.
That's interesting. Because I think about that a lot. Actually, every time I'm watching a movie, a show, I always look at the background and I'm like, oh, that's a set. And I'm like, oh, this is how they did this. This is a set. This is probably what it looks like. And I try to envision what it looks like more first person to them. And I'm like, but this is what it looks like to me. I'm always thinking about that. I think I took a trip to Universal. I think that's what did it for me. Yeah. One time I was like, oh shit, this is all the behind the scenes stuff. And every time I'm watching a show, I can't watch them the same now. I'm like, oh, that looks fake as fuck. Or this is a set, whatever. But those people acting, they have like relationships with each other sometimes, friendships, whatever. And or if they're in a show and they do a lot of you spend a lot of time with those people,
long days,
just for us to watch. They're like, ha, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it takes like 8 hours for like 2 minutes of footage.
Jesus.
Like 8 hours spent. And where I was going to take that is back to the identity thing. How the fuck can you have any type of sense of identity as a working actor?
A lot of people like get fucked by some of the roles they play. It affects them.
It would have
mentally.
To, because the best actors become the thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you're becoming somebody else and you are somebody else more or less for 6 to 8 months out of the year, you're somebody else more than you're yourself.
You're not you anymore.
So once they wrap the set and the movie's done and you go home, what are you? You go and you look in the mirror and you take the makeup off and you wear your outfits and not their outfits, and you like, how do you come back to being like, what even are you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's why actors are so psychologically fucked up all the time. They're drug addicts, they're alcoholics all the time.
Yeah.
Because they're being somebody else as their job, and then eventually they have to be them again, and they can't even do it.
And they don't know how. Yeah. That's funny. That reminds me of in Friends. There's a scene. It's an episode where they're looking back in time, you know, if things happen differently. And Rachel comes in. She's like prissy, rich, whatever. And she's asking Joey, who stars in soap opera. Have you seen Friends?
Yeah, I've seen Friends.
Yeah, Joey's in a soap opera, and he plays a doctor in that show. And Rachel asks him, she's like, so how do you know where Dr. Drake Ramore leaves off and Joey Tribbiani begins? And he's like, well, most of the stuff Drake says is written for me, and the other stuff I have to come up with on my own. And so I was like, that's it? You just have lines, or you don't have lines? But it was ironic because he's a character in both of them, and he's
a character playing a
character playing a character. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but that makes sense if you say so many hours, because they only put out so many episodes. So that's just a ton of time. Lots of time to forget who you are. And
yeah, you're spending more time being somebody else than you are being yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like...
Maybe that's why people think the theater kids are weird. They are weird. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit it's sort of fascinating. It's like, it's definitely has some really dark undertones.
Yeah.
To it all. And then even not beyond the whole thing of how do you even know who you are if you're playing other people your whole life? Like, how do you come home after all that?
Yeah.
And then the thing that you're losing your identity as playing this character and playing pretend with makeup on. And then all of the millions of people that are watching you play that character. I don't know. It's just strange. The whole thing is just very strange. It's like I was saying when I was in the movie, it was like being in a weird dream.
Yeah.
It's like, am I going to wake up? Like I'm watching this girl, and she had her neck slit, and she was like holding her stuff. She's like, oh, she's a great actor.
Yeah.
She's been acting for a long time. So she's like, it was like when you're at a certain angle, it looks like her throat is slit open and she's dying because she's a good actress.
Yeah.
But if you kind of look behind her, there's
see.
There's a guy with a tube with blood in the tube. And he's gonna blow the blood out of her neck.
Oh God!
Right, but she's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then you see him, and he's like blowing the blood through the tube.
Waiting for his cue.
Right. And it, like I said, it's like being in a fucking crazy dream.
Damn. Is watching it weird? Did you watch it?
Yeah, no, it was kind of, I thought it was going to be complete ass. I thought it was going to be terrible. So I was pleasantly surprised that it was okay.
Okay.
It was kind of funny, and it came together the right, and I've never acted before.
Yeah.
So they're saying all this jargon and stuff. They're like saying words that I've never heard before, and I'm supposed to know what it means. So I'm just like, it's my first day, like Trump.
Yeah.
Like I've never done this before, but I learned fast.
Yeah. Just, wing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you pick up on the words and stuff, and then he would say stuff like "give it a beat," and then he'd say action, and then giving it a beat means like give it a long moment, and then engage.
Gotcha.
So it's like all those little things that you learn, but
yeah, man, I hate watching myself. I can't do it.
Yeah, why? That's so upsetting to me.
Yeah, it's upsetting
What's
to me too. Because people are like, oh, this bitch is stupid. And I'm like,
you can't even watch yourself.
I can't even watch it. And I'm like, oh, that's so sad. Like, I just see myself and I cringe, and then people have opinions about it. And I'm like, no, I'm a whole person. I can't do it. I can't watch myself.
Yeah, you're a whole ass person.
I'm a whole person. I can't watch it. I'll like listen to, whatever we film, and I'll skip through it. I'm like, oh, I remember that, and I'll just skip it because I don't want to watch myself.
Yeah,
but
fuck.
I skipped through.
Yeah, that's sad. That's like, what is that?
I don't know. I thought that was normal. I can't do it, though. I also don't know what I look like in pictures, though. So it makes sense. I don't know who the fuck I am.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to the identity thing.
Yeah. I look at myself in pictures, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's pretty or pretty ugly.
The world has to tell you.
Exactly. I always ask for opinions. When I'm posting an Instagram photo, I tell other people to choose the best pictures because it's always different than something I would have picked. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just fucking stupid. I don't know when I look good and when I don't, because I don't know what the fuck I look like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it's like the world tells you who you are, and then you kind of act accordingly to that.
I mean, now I'm a little different, but I always, when I started growing up and people started paying attention to me and saying that I was pretty, I legitimately, genuinely didn't think that I was, but people told me that I was. So it was just like, oh, okay, then I am. Mm-hmm. I guess I am. But so I did not believe it.
After a certain amount of repetition, you start to view yourself that way, or how does it work?
Yeah, but still, it's like in my head, I'm like, oh no, they just like what they see. It's because of what I'm putting out there, but not when I come home and take everything off and who I am. They don't like that. And so then I started having this whole, what's it called? What's the complex that I was only pretty a certain way and then obsessed with makeup and couldn't leave the house without it. It was horrible.
Damn, so that's fucking fucked. Like,
It was a whole thing.
all women have to deal with the identity thing because women put a different face on
Every day.
every day before they leave the house.
I've had to do a lot of trauma work on just makeup and how I started to wear it. Yeah.
So you're presenting a different version of yourself to the world, and then you take it all off, and then you have to kind of work around
And
the
deal
two
with,
different things.
oh, this is who I am, really.
And if you were to go out as who you are really, then then how do people react to you? And then do people still say the same things?
I mean, honestly, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's also made me feel different. If you notice, like I don't even hardly wear that much makeup anymore. I threw all of my makeup out. I collected it. I loved makeup. I did a ton. I wore it every day, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, there was like 2 or 3 times I went out with like no makeup or just with the mascara like I have on now, and people would say things. In Hawaii, this one guy was like, oh, like you should be, oh, I think I've talked about it. Just, oh, you should be like a model or something and whatever. And I was like, bro, I just got out of the ocean. Like, what do you mean? I don't even, but it's like, okay, that's tight.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So that kind of gave you that the world responded to you in a way that you're like, okay, I don't need that stuff.
Because I genuinely didn't think that.
Yeah.
Didn't believe that.
That's interesting that it's like you're building your own sense of self around what you're being told that you are.
Yeah. Kind of sucks.
So when people tell you you're ugly your whole life, then what?
Exactly. No, I think about that. I'm like, if I was genuinely like ugly and unattractive, that would make my life so much more difficult. Significantly more difficult.
So much of women's value is their beauty.
It's all of it.
I wouldn't say all, but it's a lot.
It's all of it.
It's a lot. And like a man can be pretty ugly or sort of ugly and stuff, but he can do things with his life that override it. What the fuck does a woman do?
And that's inequality. Yeah, we start expiring by 30.
But on the inverse of that, you could be born with something that, okay, what does a man have to do? Right? They have to be funny. They have to be interesting. They need a good job. They have to carry themselves with confidence. They need to provide. What does a woman need?
Be pretty.
So we talk about equality.
You did that. Men did that.
We did that?
Yeah. That means our standards are fucking higher. All you need is for a bitch to be fuckable, and you're like, oh, I'm sold.
Well, what else are you going to do? We don't need you to be funny or intelligent. We really don't. Like, it's helpful, but it's not necessary. Like, all you need to do is be hot or cute. That's it.
But if you're toxic and crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. Like, yeah, you can even be toxic and crazy, but just don't go over the top with it.
Yeah, it's true.
Just be sort of toxic and crazy. And then it's still, like, if you're cute, it's still tolerable. And we're still going to deal with it.
Because you can fuck, right?
I mean, I wouldn't say it like that. It's not all that. Well, let me tell you something. It's very powerful. All right. I'm mansplaining right now or whatever. But what you have is extremely powerful.
Pretty privilege is real.
Yeah, privilege, or even beyond that, the sex. So if you draw, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If you draw somebody in with the pretty, That's cool. But don't just give it up. Make them work for it.
Yeah.
Because they will.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you any of this shit. I'm just saying, from the male perspective,
Yeah.
don't just give it up.
Yeah.
Because that is power.
It's true. It's true.
It's true.
A lot of power.
Yeah, people are willing to go through great lengths.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. What does a man have? What do we have that's gonna make a woman go through great lengths? Money.
A husband material for me. I will chase.
You'll chase
a husband.
So what does that mean?
Like, I know his morals. I know he'd be a good dad. I know he would be present, healthy relationship, functional, stable, and healed.
What about broke and all of those things?
Broke is okay. As long as he's
Really?
working and is like doing something. If you're sitting at home and you're a bum and you're broke, yeah, fuck that.
Well, that's just like kind of.
But husband material, yeah, is, putting in the work. But if you're broke, it's fine.
As long as you're working.
Yeah.
And you're just
I'm broke
sitting
too.
on your ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that you would chase that. Like a man would chase a pretty girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so like basically
Hell yeah.
a list of 8 things.
My standards are just a little bit more than like being hot.
Yeah. That's fine. All right, sick. Well, thanks for listening. This concludes this episode of Freak Show.
Peace out.